Halo, selamat sore rekan-rekan sekalian. Selamat datang di acara kita pada sore hari ini, yaitu di acara webinar untuk YCSC Training ya, YCSC Training, yaitu untuk Yeastar Certified Sales Consultant. Ya, bagaimana kabar rekan-rekan sekalian? Ya, pastinya baik ya. Ya, jadi pada sore hari ini saya juga ditemani oleh Horis ya dari Yeastar selaku senior trainer dari Yeastar. Ya, Horis, are you there?
Hello, everyone. It's really nice to
Hello, Riz.
meet you guys
Good
again.
afternoon. How are you?
I'm doing
Yes.
great. So it's really nice to see you guys here. We've seen each other maybe previously, but today I'm going to share this YCSC training with you guys. Yeah.
Oke, sure, Haris. Ya, jadi acara pada sore hari ini akan dibawakan oleh Horis ya. Jadi untuk beberapa materinya dan agenda untuk pada sore hari ini yaitu kita akan sama-sama belajar ya. Kita akan sama-sama belajar yaitu untuk tentang sales ya, tentang sales, how to sales, dan tentang terutama produk dari P-Series PBX yang nantinya akan dibawakan materinya oleh Horis. Ya, dan khawatir karena materi ini itu adalah materi untuk sales ya, jadi kita nggak membahas terlalu hal tentang teknis. Jadi mungkin untuk rekan-rekan semua pastinya bisa dan juga pastinya membawa manfaat buat rekan-rekan tim sales semuanya. Ya, dan jangan lupa bahwa seluruh pertanyaan ya. Jadi karena kita nanti kan kita akan ada examnya ya, yang tidak hari ini. Jadi rekan-rekan fleksibel untuk mengambil kapan untuk examnya dari sertifikasi YCSC ini. Karena nanti rekan-rekan akan mendapatkan sertifikat resmi dari Yeastar ya. Jadi per masing-masing individu itu akan mendapatkan sertifikat Certified Sales Consultant secara gratis dari Yeastar. Ya nanti untuk masing-masing person yang lulus tentunya ya di exam tersebut. Nah, keseluruhan materi ataupun jawaban nantinya yang ada di dalam exam tersebut itu semuanya ada di materi yang akan dibawakan Horis pada hari ini. Ya, jadi jangan lupa untuk stay tune ya, untuk stay tune di acara presentasinya dan mungkin bisa menggali lebih dalam untuk pengetahuan yang ada di Yeastar P Series ini. Dan juga materi di game ya, karena di sesi berikutnya itu nanti semua rekan-rekan yang join di webinar pada hari ini akan mendapatkan kesempatan untuk memenangkan berbagai macam hadiah gitu ya. Totalnya cukup banyak ya, nanti saya akan info di belakang ya hadiahnya apa saja. Nah, jadi kesempatannya cukup tinggi untuk rekan-rekan semua yang join ya. Nah, tapi di sana ada gamenya dan di game tersebut akan ada beberapa pertanyaan tentunya ya. Nah, jawaban untuk pertanyaan-pertanyaan tersebut itu ada di materi yang dibahas juga pada hari ini. Ya, jadi jangan lupa ya rekan-rekan untuk semuanya untuk stay tune dan nanti silakan mendengarkan di presentasi yang dibawakan oleh Horis. Dan untuk rekan-rekan sekalian mungkin yang ada pertanyaan silakan menyampaikan di kolom Q&A ya yang ada di panel Q&A di dalam Zoom. Ya silakan pertanyaan rekan-rekan disampaikan di sana yang nantinya dari tim panitia itu akan membantu untuk menjawab di sana. Ya oke. Ya oke kalau gitu mungkin untuk mempersingkat waktu saya langsung persilakan Horis untuk memulai acara webinar pada sore hari ini. Ya Horis, please take your time. Ya.
Okay, thank you, Iwan, for your introduction of this training. So I'm going to turn off my camera because for better network connection, and we can just get started with this one. So first of all, I believe as Iwan just mentioned to you guys, like how can we have for this kind of activity, you guys can see that we got a chance to win some, gift cards for yourself. And this is what we are talking about for this YCSC training, the Yeastar Certified Sales Consultant. So once you pass this training, you guys can go to take the exam, and then you will get a chance for our next session, the Kahoot game, to win the final prizes. So at the end of this training, my colleague will help us to send the exam link in the chat panel. Please pay attention to that. Also, of course, we're going to send you the follow-up email with the exam link again if you want to have more time to prepare for the exam, all right? The key point for the exam, the first one, if you pass that, you will become one of the certified sales consultant. We will give you the certificate. You can list that out on your official website or something like that. And the second point, once you take the exam, no matter you pass it or not, you will get the chance to join the next session to win the prizes, right? So I guess that's enough talk. We can just get started directly because this is more sales orientated. So the key point is that we want you guys to know more about Yeastar, know more about Yeastar products. And then in this way, you will have more confidence to persuade your customers, the end users, to choose Yeastar. During this whole training, if you guys have any question, please feel free to drop it in the chat panel or the Q&A section. My colleague will be there for you. Also, we got some people from our company will answer any question you may have. You can feel free to type in Bahasa if you prefer to. Right, so let's just jump into this one. The first part, we'll be talking about who we are. This is kind of like a background introduction of Yeastar, of our company. Let's check out some data together. This is our achievement today. You guys know that Yeastar focus on one thing, that is the channel selling. So we have already channels, or let's say the partners, distributors for over like the performance today. And then you can see that we have more than 9,000 and more channels worldwide. We have installed a lot of PBX, right? You guys know that this is our core businesses of Yeastar. And what made us there is kind of like because of our product lines. You guys can see that we are trying to deliver all the products with good service to our customers. So the key point is for the unified communication and collaboration. Sometimes we call it UCNC solution. You guys can see this is the flagship of Yeastar, the P-Series PBX system, which we have 3 different deployment editions. And this is what we are going to focus on today, because this is the flagship. This is what we are going to be promoting to the market in the future. And we do provide the UC clients. We got a self-developed application. We call it the Linkas. You can freely choose to use it either on web client, mobile client, or desktop client. And we do provide some gateways, right? If you do have like experience in this telecommunication, let's say industry, we will need some gateways to build up, to bundle with our solution. So we do provide that for you guys. And then the value added service, because once you become our partner, we want you to have as much profit as possible. So of course, we will provide you some value added service, including the remote access service and with a lot of UC features, the subscription plans. More than that, we do provide you the Yeastar Central Management Platform, one platform for you to manage everything related with Yeastar. And then we do have a Yeastar Workplace. This is another totally different product line, but we do have it, but this is not the key point for today. Today, we're gonna focus on this, we mentioned, the P-Series PBX system. So let's just check this out together. All right. The first one, we can talk about the target market. This is something very important because if we are trying to, sell the products to the customers, we definitely need to know who we are targeting for. So for the P-Series PBX, it's targeted for the SMEs that they have the higher expectations of the communication system. Because when we are talking about the telephony system, the first thing comes to our mind will be that this is something we use to make and receive phone calls, right? But actually nowadays, the customer's requirements are way more than that. They will have higher expectations. They will need more features. They want this system to be more, let's say, considerate, or let's say to be more convenient for the users to use, right? And this is exactly what we can bring to them through our P-Series PBX system. All right, so this is a brief, let's say, introduction of the P-Series PBX system. You can see here it's beyond just the PBX. We have a lot of UC features like the UC clients we've just mentioned, the video conferencing, the call center solution. If you are running the call center, the service center, and then like the remote working solution, because nowadays a lot of people, they are working in a hybrid working mode, or they are working remotely. Also, some third-party integration can be pretty important. And all those features can be actually brought by Yeastar P3's PBX system. So this is something very important, all right? And then the next one, we will just talk about this is kind of like the basic part for the deployment methods or deployment modes. I believe which you already are pretty familiar with. We have 3 different deployment modes for the P3's PBX system. They are the Cloud Edition, Software Edition, and Appliance, which is the Hardware Edition. Let's check them out one by one. By the way, guys, don't hesitate to leave your question. All right, if you have any question, just drop it in the chat panel. So for the Cloud Edition, it's multi-instant based. This is a good solution for the customers who is trying to get started real quick, because if it's Cloud Edition, it's totally cloud-based, which means they don't have to wait for, let's say, the shipment for the delivery, right? They can just directly get the instance and use it. And it's multi-instance based, which means it's separately, you don't have to worry about there will be some conflict data with other users through the Cloud Edition. And then we got the Software Edition. Software Edition, you can think it's totally a software. It's single instance based. Normally, this is a ideal solution for the medium or larger enterprises, because the capacity, let's say, of the Software Edition, the maximum number will up to 10,000 extension users. So it's a really good solution for the medium or the large companies. And the Appliance Edition, which I believe is nowadays more popular in Indonesia market, because previously we've also done some, let's say, questionnaire to generate some feedback from you guys. And most people, they still are choosing the Appliance Edition. So you can totally keep that within your server room, within your office. And then this is a very flexible system because we got a module design and more. So let's check out them a little bit further. The Appliance Edition, the most popular one, we have actually 3 models, right? The P550, P560, and P570. So the users of, let's say, the extension users can be up to from 50 to up to 500 extension users. So if your customers, they are from these, let's say, company scale, maybe you will be able to, recommend this hardware edition to them. Also, the performance, let's say the features, is already in there, or you can just feel free to use it. So here we got a picture for more specifications. You guys can see that the extension user from 50 to up to 500, and the concurrent cost is from 25 to up to 120. All right, so if you guys, let's say, compare with the P series to the S series PBX, if you have 300 extension users, then I believe the P570 can be a really good choice for you, because you can see that it's even expandable. You know that the S series PBX is limited. It's only for 300 extension users, and it's not expandable. But if you are choosing the P570, it can cover the requirements of the 300 extension users. And in the near future, if the customer's businesses grows bigger, they do need more extensions, need more capacities, then the P570 can still handle that, right? And we will share these slides with you guys. So about these specifications, you can find out more a little bit later. Next one will be the P series software edition. Like we mentioned, it's totally software based, and then you can easily install it on anywhere you want. So we basically provide you 3 options. The first one will be on the cloud. The most common one will be the AWS, the Amazon provided service. And then the second way is through the virtual machine, right? We got the VMware, we got the Hyper-V. You just need to prepare that. And the third one will be the hardware server. Normally, it's like the Dell hardware server. You can just deploy the software edition on them directly. And like I mentioned, one of the highlight feature of it is that the maximum extension numbers can reach 10,000, and the maximum concurrent cost for one single instance of the P3 software edition can reach up to 1,000. This is really good for the, let's say, the enterprises level users, right? And here we list out some requirements. You guys can see the virtual or the cloud environment. I'm not going to read it one by one because it's more technical. And we can just find out that if we have the specific project, but we can provide you those information to you guys after this webinar. And this is for the hardware server part. So the next part comes to the P3's Cloud Edition. All right, like we mentioned, Cloud Edition is totally cloud-based. You don't have to prepare any hardware devices. So it's all based on the cloud server. And Yeastar already got global servers, global data centers to make sure wherever your customers are, they will always be able to get the best service, best experience from the Yeastar Cloud PBX, right? And we do have something called a turnkey solution. So if you become the hosting partner of Yeastar, we do suggest you to choose the turnkey solution. You can easily purchase the hosting package from Yeastar and then customize it all by yourself, like the pricing, and you can just sell it to your end users freely and all by yourself. You will have the full control of it. You don't have to worry about to prepare the servers, because if you are the hosting partner of Yeastar, Yeastar will do everything for you. All right, so this is about the 3 different deployment methods. And again, guys, feel free to drop any questions you may have. All right, and I'm gonna keep going first. Next part, we will be talking about the P3's PBX system, some highlight features. This is also the key point of it, because this is YCSC, right? Still remember that we are the sales consultant. So for sales consultant, what we can use to persuade the customer to choose our product will be those highlight features, will be those features that make us different from the other brands, those features that make us outstanding, right? That's the key point. So this part, I believe, is going to be pretty important. And also, another thing is that, guys, every answer in our next week's Kahoot game will be included in today's training. So this part, I guess this is the one we need to, pay more attention to it, because all the answers, they are in this section. All right, we will not prepare any question that's too difficult. We will mention everything in this training. So let's just check out this one. First of all, we can have some, like, let's say, brief introduction about the P3's PBX system. So here we got 3 keywords for that. P3's PBX system is actually an easy, flexible, and secure telephony system. First of all, we got the straightforward web GUI, the web interface. So everyone will be really easy to find out how to use it, how to configure, how to interact with the P3's interface. And we got a role-based permission, which means that you will have the permission to freely, assign to the users, to the extension users or the employees in your company. Is very flexible. And we have the extension group, right? It's also flexible. We got an NFC for the hardware edition. It's really good to get started the first time for the this one for the NFC. And then we got the automatically provisioning for the IP phones from these different brands, these mainstream brands, right? And we got the built-in security mechanism. This is like something very important when we are talking about a solution. All right, so this you can just find them all in the P3's PBX system. And I noticed that there are 2 participants raised your hands. So if you have any question, you can just drop it in the chat panel directly or the Q&A box, because yeah, I'm not quite sure like why you raised your hand, but any concern, you can just leave it in the Q&A box or the chat panel. All right. So this picture actually shows you all the basic features of the P3's PBX system, which means that once you receive the PBX, you can just use all those features we list out in this picture. All right, something like the telephony features, including the co-routing, like the IVR, or the business features like the emergency number, or a lot. All right, but these features, once you receive the P3's PBX, you can use them. And by the way, no matter which deployment method you are using, you will be able to use them, of course. So what we are going to talk about is actually those highlight features, those UC features we've mentioned at the very first beginning, we want to show to our customers. In the next part, I'm going to present it through a live demo, which I believe can be more attractive and can be more, let's say, straightforward, because we can just see how it looks like and what is that for, right? So let me just share with you guys this one. I will switch to my live demo section, right? You guys can see that I'm using a P570 to do the live demo for you guys, which is a hardware PBX for the P-Series PBX system. So this is the web client I'm logging in with. All right, let's check out this one together. First of all, I'm now using my own extension account. You guys can see this is my extension number in my company, right? I can switch multiple languages. And first of all, I would like to show you guys will be the management portal. Like we mentioned, P3 is user role based. It's pretty flexible, which means even I'm just the user in the, let's say the company, I will still have the permissions to do the configurations. You can see that this is my extension number and my user role now is working as administrator. So I will still have the permission to configure, for example, the inbound route, outbound route to manage the phone calls, to set up the IVR, to set up the ring group and the queue members, right? So I will have the permissions to, manage this one all by myself as long as I have the permissions, right? And this is basically about the, let's say the configuration permission. You will be able to modify, you will be able to configure this system all by yourself. So let me just switch to the web client, which includes basically all the highlight features for our P3 PBX system. The first one, every extension user, they will be able to have their own presence settings. You guys can see that we got 6 presence by the default settings, so I can switch it. For example, now I'm gonna switch to do not disturb. You can see this will be synchronized in a real-time based. All these status will be synchronized simultaneously to the 3 Linux UC clients, the desktop client, mobile client, and this web client. All right. When we are speaking using this kind of system, this kind of solution, the key point is that we want to use it for communication. And we can divide communication into internal communication and external communication. So this status is the first tool we can use for the internal communication, because all your colleagues, if they have the permission to see your availability, they will be able to see your presence here. For example, if I have the permission to check out the research and development team availability, I can switch to it and I can find out Sue is not available. So maybe I can call her, I can send her the message, all right? And at this extension page, I will be able to initiate audio call, initiate one-on-one video call, to send the instant messaging. And another thing very important, leave a voicemail can be a really good tool for internal communication as well. Because when I see someone is do not disturb, well, it's not good for me to call him directly, but maybe I can leave a voicemail. So he will be able to check it when he's get a second. So then they will be able to see it and get back to me. All right, this is about this one, the 4 ways for us to start the internal communication: audio call, video call, instant messaging, and the voicemail. All right, so this is about it. But if you have more permissions, you will see more. All right, this is related to the permissions though. Next one will be the chat, because we can finish about the, let's say, the internal communication tools first. All right, let's take a look in this way, in this logic. So in internal communication, the next one will be the chat, which sometimes we also call it the instant messaging feature. This is the PBX system, so of course we will use it a lot to make and receive phone calls. But nowadays we know that we are also using a lot of, let's say, the instant messaging. But previously, when we don't have this instant messaging feature, we need to switch back and forth. Sometimes we use this one to make and receive phone calls, but I need to switch to another application to send message to my colleagues, right? That's not that easy. Now we've made this instant messaging feature totally embedded in the P3 PBX system, which means that I can just search my colleague's extension number and then start a communication by sending them emojis, transfer the file, or just ask some people to make it a group chat. All right, so this is what we use that for. All right, the instant messaging feature is also a pretty good tool for the internal communication. All right, So this is about it. And then we can talk about something else for the internal communication. I will say that call logs can be a part of it, right? Because this is my own extension account. I would like to find out my call history. What's the duration? Or if I want to dial, like call them back again, something like this. And the voicemails, I'm sorry, this is just a demo account, so I don't have any voicemails available here. But if you do have some voicemails, they will be able to pop up here. You can find out all their information, all right, and get back to them. And the recordings, if you do have the permission to view your own recordings, you will also be able to find it out here through this list, all right, just like listen to it again or do some operations to them. And the next one will be the preferences settings, right? Preferences settings here, you guys can see that you will be able to customize some personalized information, including your picture, your first name, last name, email address, mobile number, and then just to customize your presence information, right? You can leave a information here, set up different call forwarding strategies for the presence, for different presence, some voicemail settings, some audio video devices selection, and like the function keys settings. Basically, this is about for the internal communication, all right? And then we're gonna move to the next part, which will be the external communication. So all those above features we mentioned is more like for the internal ones, but what if I want to use it to make some external communications, right? What kind of tools we have and how can we manage that? Well, the first one will be the contact. Here you guys can see the contact is actually divided into two parts. We got a personal contacts and the company contacts. For the personal contacts, it will only be available for you. So only you can see it as your extension user. And the company contacts, it depends on the permission. For one company, we may have multiple contact phone books. For example, we may have one phone book for the vendors. We have one phone book for the, let's say, customers or for the partners, right? Different phone books. So different people, they will have the different permission. So to let's say to access the phone books. So it depends, right? Or what kind of like the employees, what kind of departments they are in. So they will have different permissions for that, right? So this is the phone book. You can also easily click it to dial out this number directly. And also the phone book can also be integrated with the CRM platform to support the contact information synchronization, right? So this is the contact, the first way for us to reach out to the external users. And then another one will be the video conferencing. Well, this is also a really needed feature, especially nowadays, because we know that due to the pandemic issue, it's really hard for us to visit our customers face to face nowadays. But what's getting popular is that we will have more and more virtual meetings, online meetings with our customer like we are having right now. So we also embedded this video conferencing feature in the P3's Video Assistant web client. You can easily create instant meeting. All right, here. So it's loading the camera. You guys can see that, right? So you can just, if you have multiple devices, you can just choose them here directly, or you can set up the password or meeting topic for that, because this is the instant one. So we can just click create, and then this page will pop up. You guys will see that we are joining to this one, the meeting page. And you can send this invitation link to the, let's say, participants directly, because when we are designing this, we designed it to be really easy and convenient for the users, which means that they don't have to download any third-party software. All they need is just this invitation link. They can easily, let's say, copy and paste in any browser, and then they will just be able to use it directly to join that quickly. All right. Also, you have the full control as any other, let's say, virtual meeting. For example, you can mute yourself, unmute yourself, turn off your camera, share your screen, and send some message in this video meeting. All right. So this is about it. But this is more like for the instant one. Normally, our meeting can be scheduled. So I can just create a meeting link here to define the name, the time, the password, and then click save. Then I can just start a meeting when it's about the time, and I can copy the meeting information, send to the let's say the people we would like to invite, or just invite participants here directly, or you want to edit it or delete it directly. All right. So this is how we manage that. And here we do have some, limitation I would like to mention to you guys is that for the video conferencing, at the same time, you can maximally have 4 concurrent meeting. So that's a lot, I believe, for the SMEs, like 4 concurrent meetings at the same time, because it's both for the internal and external, right? Both. And for each meeting, you can have at most 5 participants in one video conferencing. So this is about this feature, right? I noticed that we got some, questions in the Q&A section. So thank you for your question. And for all the participants, if you have any further question, please also feel free to drop it in the chat panel. So the next one, we'll be talking about the operator panel, another good tool for external communication. As the name shows, you can see that the operator panel is designed for the operator in our company. So we know that one key jobs of the operator in the company is that they need to, let's say, answer, or let's say they need to do the call distribution for the company. Well, they will have to do a lot of things here. But back to the old days, if you are familiar with this job, you will know that what they need to do is that they will need to remember the feature codes, right? They need to dial the feature codes on their IP phone, and then to, let's say, add the specific destination, maybe a specific extension user, maybe a parking slot or something like that. That's a little bit tricky, and that can be complex because they need to remember all of that. And if they have so many phone calls at the same time, if this is a busy operator, that's really a burden for their jobs. So we designed this visualize the operator panel for you to save you from this kind of problems. For the operator panel feature, you will be able to use it as a visualize the panel to see what's happening in your company, and then you will have the permissions to manage everything with your mouse clicks. If I'm just telling you that, maybe it's hard to see. So let me just show you with a live demo. I'm gonna show you guys how does this look like. Let's say I'm the operator for this company right now. I'm not logging in to this system. I can just dial a number. For example, this is my own external number. So let me just dial out that, right? You guys can see that the status is ringing because this is dialed out successfully. And I believe you can hear my phone ringing right now, right? So this is how it looks like. And let me just pick up this phone call and mute it first. You guys can see the status is switching to talking right now, right? So this is how it looks like. And now this is just like how easy it is. You can just find out the real-time status. And more than that, you have the permission to operate it. For example, I'm gonna just drag and drop to specific extensions to specific destination, or I can just mouse right click it to hand up. If I have the permission, I can even monitor, listen to this phone call. But this is because this is my own, phone number. So this is my own phone call. So I cannot, let's say, monitor that, of course. Let me just hang up. You will even have the permission to hang up this phone call. You can see this is how it works, right? Now it's very visualized. You can easily find out what's happening in your PBX. And more than that, you will also be able to handle that with mouse clicks. So now even you have 10 phone calls, let's say, at the same time, well, with this operator panel, with mouse clicks, just handle that in few seconds, right? So this is it. And another point of this one is that you can switch the business hours here through mouse click as well, or you will have to do that through the feature codes. This is for the operator panel to visualize, to monitor the phone calls, to manage the phone calls, and to switch the business hours here, right? And this is another tool for external communication. So that's basically for the internal and external communication. But for our system, we do have way more, let's say, UC features or value-added service, right? Next one we would like to talk about will be the call center console. Call center console is a perfect solution designed for the call centers, especially inbound call centers. If your customers, they are running some inbound call centers, then it's good for you because this is a perfect solution for them. So the call center solution is consisted of 3 parts. They are the wallboard, queue panel, and advanced code reports. Let's check out them one by one. The first one will be the wall board. So you guys can see that if you have multiple queue, because our call center is queue based. So if you have multiple queues, you will be able to make a selection here directly. And then this wall board is a visualized panel we designed for the managers or supervisors in the company. So they want to find out the real-time status of the call center, right? Back to the old days, they don't have this kind of tool. Now we have this wall board. They can just drag out that and then to find out the real-time status, like how many phone calls they are waiting, how many phone calls they've answered, all right? How many phone calls they've abandoned, some necessary information like this. And you can totally customize it by yourself by dragging that bigger or smaller. All right, so this is the wall board. Also, you'll be able to find out the SOA data. So it will be a really helpful tool for you to evaluate your performance of your call center. Next one will be the queue panel. Speaking of the queue panel, you guys may find it a little bit similar with the operator panel, right? It looks like similar, but actually the queue panel is specifically designed for the queue. And the operator panel is more like target for the whole company, whole PBX. So for the operator panel, you will be able to use it to monitor the phone calls in your queue and do the same operations. As long as you have the permissions, you will also be able to find out your agent's status here directly. This is the second part. Now let's switch to the call reports, because the call reports is also designed for the manager, right? For the supervisor. So we need to jump into the reports, and we got the call reports here. You can choose, here we provide you multiple call report types. Something is like the, let's say the agent, maybe the queue performance, all right? Let me just select any one. Once you have some data, you will be able to find out them all here. It's also a really good tool for you to see how your queue is working. Is that, are they doing a great job? And then you can schedule reports. The reports will just be directly sent to your email address, or you can just download them from here directly. That will be pretty good. All right, so this is 3 parts for the call center solution. And I guess that's for the call center solution. Now we can just, like, let's say, keep going and talking about the next, some other features of our P3's PBX system. And then the first thing maybe I would like to introduce to you guys will be the integrations. First of all, we got a CRM integration. You guys can see we got the CRM integration here. We are using is the HubSpot, but now we have officially supported 3 CRM platforms. They are the HubSpot, Salesforce, and Zoho. If you are using one of them, that's pretty good, because we have the official operation with them. They can just easily use that to realize something like the code journaling, like the contact information synchronization between the PBX and CRM platform, or new, like let's say the new customer information automatically add up to the PBX and the CRM platform, right? So this is the first integration I would like to introduce to you guys for the CRM. But what if like you want to have some other CRM platforms, right? We do have the option, that is the API. So you will be able to use this API feature we already supported on the P3's PBX to do some do some developments by yourself with the third-party CRM platform, some in-house, some lightweight CRM platform, or you can use the AMI or the database grant. Right, for the database grant, it's more like for the, let's say for the call center. If you're using the third-party call center, you want to get some data and then analyze the call reports, or the billing system. If you're using them, we do have the database grant here ready for you guys. Right, so these are a bunch of integrations. More than that, we do have the auto provisioning feature. We've supported a lot of vendors' IP phones in this one. And then you will just be able to bundle your business together. So if you are selling the customer the PBX system plus those IP phones, we do have the auto provisioning feature for you to ease the job to configure the IP phones for your customer. And we've selected mostly all the mainstream IP phone models, and this list will just keep upgrading all the time. All right, so you can just click it to find out what's the latest supported brands for the auto provisioning. All right. Then next one I would like to talk about will be something also very important, will be the Yeastar FQDM, or sometimes we call it the Yeastar Remote Access Service. Well, as the name shows, it's a perfect solution for the remote working, right? Especially nowadays, we do need that. For example, if I'm at home right now, I need to use my company's resources. I need to use my company's PBX in the office to make a phone call to my customers. I need to use the trunks, right, the phone lines. Or I will need to, let's say I have one IP phone at home, but I want to register this IP phone on the PBX in my company. Well, now we have the solution for that. It's called the Yeastar Remote Access Service. So it's a service. The key point of service is that it needs to be easy, because if it's difficult, it's not like we cannot call it a service, because that's, you know, if you need to configure a lot, it's not a service. Service should be something once you receive it, you can just use it, and that's what we are hitting for this RAS. Now, if you have that, you can just enable the FQDN here easily. All right, all you need to do is just to configure a FQDN. We call it a fully qualified domain name. Once you enable this one, it's like Yeastar will provide you a totally encrypted tunnel for better security to help you to, you know, use this kind of remote service. But what exactly do we have? Let's scroll down a little bit for the features. The first one will be the web access, which means that you can easily access this web, this one I'm using right now, from anywhere, right? And then the linkers, if you want to use the linkers 3 clients, linkers UC clients remotely, you will be able to do that as well. SIP access, this is what we mentioned. If you want to remotely register not just IP phone, or let's say maybe the gateway, maybe some other devices, you want to register them remotely on the PBX, you will also be able to manage that. And LDAP access, all right, our PBX can work as an LDAP server, so you will be able to access that as well. And of course, the API, right, you will be able to access it through this FQDN directly as well. And what's even better, you can independently configure the permission for people to use it. For example, I don't want them to use the LDAP access and the API, so I can disable it. But maybe they want to use the web access, so I can just add it here, and then I can just, you know, set up some specific account I would like to restrict it or allow. This is something really important for this one, I guess. So this is basically a live demo with some highlight feature I would like to show you guys. And one last thing will be the Google Chrome extension. We designed this Chrome extension, the lightweight Chrome extension, for this Google Chrome. So you can use it for some, like, let's say, phone calls. And one thing very good is that it will send you the notifications about new voicemail, new instant messaging, or new incoming phone call. And even when you close it, you will be able to receive the pop-up as well. So this is about the this one. And I believe this is like the short live demo of this Yeastar P-Swiss web client. And if you have further question, you can drop it in the chat panel or maybe contact us after this one. Anyway, it's supported. All right. Now, let me switch back to the presentation, the slides. Okay, so let's just keep going. Let's just switch back to the slides and finish something for today. So next part, I guess I'm going to talk to you guys about like what's the difference between the different plans. And I've mentioned a lot of like highlight features, but you may wonder like, what if I want to use them, right? How can I use them? So the P-Series PBX is based on the subscription plan. We have multiple subscription plan for you to get a recurring profit because it's annual subscriber based. You guys can see we got the basic features. For the appliance edition, or you can see that software and cloud edition, they start with the enterprise plan. So we can focus more on the appliance edition. For the basic plan is free, but it let's say includes a lot of like basic features for the telephony system. And enterprise plan, you will have the call center solution, remote access service, CRM integration, phone books, instant messaging, call accounting, and API interfaces. All of them, we basically mentioned them right in the live demo. But one thing I would like to point out about the call accounting feature, This is something we need as well. So for the co-accounting, it's like you can just set up a rate, set up a rule for your PBX, and then it will be able to follow this rule to calculate the cost of the specific extension group, and more. So this is about the co-accounting. And ultimate plan is easy to understand. You can think anything related to the video conferencing requires requires this ultimate plan. It's the one-on-one video call or the multiple people video conferencing. So you will be able to use it here. And more than that, I would like to share some user cases and solution with you guys. First of all, we will be able to integrate with our system with so many, let's say, intercom system. So for example, this is Hikvision. We got the Dahua. If you know that, we can support the integration with them already, all right? And for different scenarios, no matter if you're working in the office, you're running the service center, like we mentioned, inbound call center, if you have the mobile or the remote workers, or if you have multiple locations of your offices, P3's PBX system can actually solve all the problems you may have. And we've covered so many industries, because for all those industries, you will just be able to, recommend this solution to them. As long as they need a telephony system, they can come to Yeastar P3's PBX system. And next part will be the successful cases. But here, I guess I will ask Iwan to do me the favor. So here I'm going to hand it back to Iwan, and he will introduce more to you guys about this part. And later, also, one thing very important, please let us know that, Iwan, if we can send the exam link. All right, so we will do that. So you can just let us know that maybe after you introduce the rule for the Kahoot game, then we will send the exam link in the chat panel. Yeah, hand it over to you now, Iwan. Thank you.
Oke, sure, Haris. Thank you. Ya, jadi rekan-rekan sekalian di sini ada beberapa contoh ya. Jadi successful case untuk Yeastar di Indonesia. Jadi mungkin dari kita semuanya mungkin sudah tahu ya. Jadi beberapa di sini ada mulai dari government, kita ada di telco, ada juga di perbankan gitu ya. Dan juga di beberapa untuk perusahaan-perusahaan enterprise dan juga banyak sekali di SME dan SMB di Indonesia ya. Hal ini menunjukkan bahwa banyak sekali customer ya yang cukup puas, yang satisfied dengan Yeastar tentunya, dengan solusi dari Yeastar, dan tentunya juga membawa Yeastar ini untuk menjadi solusi komunikasi di perusahaan mereka dengan lebih komprehensif. Ya, jadi banyak sekali ya perusahaan, mungkin dari rekan-rekan juga pasti sudah pernah menjual Yeastar juga, sudah tahu ya, jadi di mana-mana saja customer yang ini, dan kami yakin bahwa setelah dari customer tersebut menggunakan Yeastar, mereka pasti satisfied ya dengan solusi yang ditawarkan gitu. Nah, next page please. Ya, jadi seperti yang disampaikan sebelumnya, dan dari Yeastar kita juga komitmen ya. Jadi kita komitmen untuk tumbuh berkembang bersama dengan pastinya dengan semua rekan-rekan partner sekalian. Ya, karena kita tahu bahwa kita dari Yeastar kita bisa tumbuh apabila juga rekan-rekan sekalian bisnis dengan rekan partner juga berkembang pastinya. Dan Yeastar juga kita sangat komitmen ya untuk mensupport dan juga untuk melakukan development bersama dengan seluruh rekan-rekan partner sekalian, baik itu di sisi technical ataupun di sisi dari sales knowledge ya, dan juga untuk bentuk support-support yang lainnya. Gitu. Ya, oke, next page please. Ya, dan di sini mungkin kalau misal rekan-rekan bersama bertanya ya, oh kalau misalkan saya menjadi partner Yeastar nih, jadi certified partner Yeastar, kira-kira apa sih benefitnya yang dari kita bisa dapatkan begitu ya? Nah, jadi sebenarnya banyak sekali ya. Jadi karena Yeastar juga kita berkomitmen ya bahwa kita juga untuk mendevelop dari partner, yaitu rekan-rekan kalian, rekan-rekan semuanya. Pertama adalah support yang pasti dalam kolaborasi sales ya. Mungkin dalam ini kita bisa contohkan mungkin project discussion, kemudian untuk bagaimana kita bisa membantu untuk project spec itu sendiri, ya, hingga kemungkinan untuk mungkin support misalkan pendampingan presentasi di dalam beberapa customer enterprise seperti itu. Dan dengan ini juga Yeastar berkomitmen untuk memberikan support yang baik tentunya untuk mendukung semua rekan-rekan partner. Ya. Berikutnya yang pasti juga dari segi marketing, Yeastar juga menyediakan ya berbagai macam kolateral yang bisa digunakan mungkin contohnya untuk graphic design gitu ya, apabila rekan-rekan membutuhkan itu semuanya tersedia ya. Jadi sudah tersedia di partner portal. Jadi rekan-rekan sekalian kalau misal sudah terregister ke Yeastar itu akan mendapatkan akses ke partner portal dan semua kolateral yang dibutuhkan ada di sana ya. Baik mungkin graphic design, kemudian datasheet, kemudian juga mungkin pamflet gitu ya, dan flyer dan sebagainya. Semuanya ada di sana dan bisa di-download juga gitu ya. Dan yang pastinya yang pasti dibutuhkan yaitu dukungan teknis dan troubleshooting dalam project. Nah, biasanya di sini dalam satu project pasti rekan-rekan sesekali ya ada menemukan satu kesulitan yang mungkin membutuhkan ya dukungan teknis ataupun support dari baik kami dari tim distributor ataupun dari Yeastar langsung. Itu silakan menghubungi nanti ya dari kami yang nanti kami akan koordinasikan dengan tim Yeastar juga. Karena kami berkomitmen bahwa kita memberikan support ya supaya semua project dan semua development itu berjalan dengan lancar pastinya dan tidak ada kendala. Ya, jadi so far sih sampai selama ini tidak ada problem yang tidak solve ya, yang istilahnya dari solusi dari Yeastar yang terimplementasi di tempat customer gitu. Ya, dan juga pastinya kita juga mensupport ya untuk training dari tim sales gitu ya, karena sebagai ujung tombak perusahaan ya, dan juga sebagai ujung tombak di istilahnya di tempat rekan-rekan sekalian, itu kita juga menyediakan satu poin support yaitu untuk training ya. Jadi kita juga ingin memastikan bahwa semua tim sales di tempat Anda itu juga capable untuk menawarkan solusi komunikasi dari Yeastar tentunya gitu ya kepada customer. Dan contohnya juga semacam event hari ini kita juga ini salah satu komitmen Yeastar untuk mensupport tim sales dari tempat rekan-rekan sekalian semuanya untuk lebih siap ya dalam menawarkan solusi komunikasi gitu. Dan mungkin apabila dari rekan-rekan partner juga membutuhkan sesi khusus ya, misalkan oh saya ada tim sales baru nih, mungkin yang karena belum paham dengan solusi Yeastar mungkin minta tolong dibantu training. Nah, kita dari tim distributor juga siap ya. Nanti silakan berkolaborasi dan koordinasi untuk waktunya, di mana kami juga bisa menjadwalkan nanti untuk sesi training sales ke tim rekan-rekan sekalian gitu. Dan juga kita tidak lupa juga dari segi teknikal ya. Nah, kita juga berkomitmen untuk memberikan dukungan training untuk tim teknis ya, supaya dari tim teknis juga paham dari solusi dari Yeastar dan juga paham produk dan juga sampai hingga implementasi. Ya, jadi kita juga ingin memastikan bahwa tim dari rekan-rekan sekalian juga siap untuk melakukan deployment ya di customer. Itu dan silakan kita juga ada training yang based on demand di partner portal yaitu di Yeastar Academy yang tinggal bisa diklik ya di partner portal itu rekan-rekan bisa akses kapanpun dan apabila mungkin rekan membutuhkan training khusus juga bisa menghubungi kami di tim distributor gitu ya. Dan berikutnya yang pasti Yeastar juga menyediakan ya yaitu untuk starter kit ya untuk rekan-rekan partner semua. Ini untuk membantu mungkin apabila rekan-rekan dari tim teknis mau mencoba atau mungkin mau belajar ya ataupun mau mengeksplor lebih lanjut dari PBX ataupun beberapa produk dari Yeastar itu bisa menghubungi kami untuk mendapatkan program starter kit. Ya, yang sekarang juga lagi bergulir adalah starter kit untuk seri P550 ya. Jadi PBX P550 B series itu silakan nanti menghubungi kami untuk informasi lebih lanjutnya. Dan berikutnya juga Yeastar menyediakan untuk liputan case study. Nah, apabila mungkin ya rekan-rekan sekalian mungkin ada satu customer rekan yang mungkin solusi yang cukup kompleks dan juga cukup masif gitu ya. Nah, rekan-rekan juga bisa menawarkan untuk diliput oleh Yeastar sebagai case study yang nantinya akan ditampilkan di sosial media Yeastar. Nah, ini tentunya juga memberikan satu bentuk apresiasi khusus untuk customer rekan-rekan sekalian itu untuk bisa terexposure gitu ya, apalagi juga langsung di sosial medianya dari Yeastar langsung gitu. Dan terakhir itu adalah komitmen Yeastar untuk terus memberikan produk dan solusi komunikasi ya yang paling terdepan tentunya dan yang paling kompetitif di market gitu ya, karena kita ingin bahwa solusi yang kita tawarkan dan dari Yeastar ada ini itu menjadi satu bisnis opportunity baru ya buat kita semuanya dan juga menjadi solusi yang cukup dibutuhkan oleh customer gitu ya, karena kita juga tahu bahwa kita dari Yeastar kita akan berkembang apabila rekan-rekan semua juga berkembang pastinya gitu ya. Jadi Ayo kita jalan bersama dan kita juga maju bersama, gitu kan.